What's the next one we do?
Flashback?
Flashback, okay.
Flashback is the new one on...
You know that's 2020 as well.
No, it's not, man.
It's 2020.
It's not. That might be the one that I see that was April 21.
It's
but
2020.
You ain't got time to check that, man.
Okay.
I bet you no one ain't seen this, though.
Probably not.
Have you even known about this?
No.
Exactly, man. You know why? Because I be finding them gems. You hear me?
From last year.
Because that's what it's about. You hear me? It's about us finding some stuff that not everybody knows about. Sometimes we review the good stuff, let you know about our opinions on the bait stuff. But really and truly, I be trying to find, you hear me? Them hidden gems.
Yeah, I could probably find hidden gems if he was allowed to do 2020 movies as well.
After a chance encounter with a man forgotten from his youth, Fred literally and metaphorically journeys into his past.
That tells you fuck all about this movie, to be honest. Literally tells you nothing.
It really does.
Literally tells you nothing about this
I'll
movie.
be real, and
it literally tells you.
Well, let's get into who's in it.
So yeah, obviously you got Dylan O'Brien. That's him from Maze Runner. I didn't really know anyone. Actually, there was the light skinned lady who played the boss.
Light skinned lady.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. She was in The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. I noticed that. Yeah,
that's the only people I think I recognize.
Everyone else was pretty much. I didn't know the director done the film Conspiracy. I know that much.
What's Conspiracy?
I haven't seen that, but I've seen the film. Because I actually checked out the director because I wanted to see what else he's done.
Yeah.
After finishing this film, I was like, "What? Who is this director? Like, what's he on?"
Yeah.
You hear me? So just like the synopsis, the first 20 half hour of this film, still a bit like, what's going on here? I don't know what's going on. In fact, probably first 45 minutes, I'm still like, it's all right, but I'm not too sure what's going on. Then you find out what's going on. I like this film. I thought it was quite smartly done, but I also didn't like it because I thought it was overly confusing for no reason. You're giving me a really airy look right now.
I'm still confused.
Oh,
let me tell you what happened here. Yeah, let me explain to you what happened.
There's a backstory.
Let me tell you what happened. So I started this on. Yeah, it must have been about 1 a.m. Yeah, and I was on my laptop doing something. Yeah, so I watched it. Yeah, and then something happened. Yeah, I was like, right, okay. Let me put my laptop down and let me try watch it. And I think that's probably at the point where you said they start explaining things. That's when I started watching it. Bro, I got to the end, yeah? And I swear down, I was like, nah, I'm going to have to watch that again because I've got no idea. It's not even the point where I could come here and speak about the movie. I couldn't even come here and talk about the movie because I had no idea what had happened. I was baffed. So the next day, which was yesterday, I started again. Yeah. And
is that when you messaged me?
Yes, I messaged you. I said, have you seen this? Because what I was going to say to you is this good or not? Because if you would have said not, I would never have watched it. I would have just tallied it up as this movie is mess as to why I don't understand what's going on. So because you hadn't watched it yet, I was like, okay, I'll watch it again. So then I watched the first 30 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, none of this still makes sense, but I had to go. I said, this movie still doesn't make sense, but I had to go. So then I watched the other movie you sent, the Escape thing. And then just before I come here, I was like, I'm going to watch it just before I come here so I know exactly what's going on. And I still have no idea what's going on. Like this is, when you say overly baffling, it's true. There's absolutely no reason for it to be so strange. There was a point about 50 minutes before the end where it could have ended and I would have been like, this was a good movie. Yeah. This was a good movie.
You know what they did though? And the same thing I always say though, they added the love story. Like they added a love story right at the tail end where they didn't really need to add
the thing right at the end with on the bed.
Yeah, no. Well, that kind of
with the mum.
They didn't
With the
need
mum,
to.
is that what you're talking about? With the mum?
No, I'm talking about with the girl.
I thought the bit with the girl was wicked. I thought that was sick. I had understood then. I was with it. Like I was like, okay, this is what's happened.
The mum did throw man off a little piece. But it should kind of make sense to you as to why, like, because it kind of summed up as to why he stopped.
Bro.
That was pretty much the reason why he stopped, because he clocked, hold on, wait, this is messing up.
I was watching
things.
it, and then he says the bit, oh, it's you. You remember that bit? He's like, it's you. Bro, I was like, well, fuck me, but I was like, what? Like,
that threw man off.
I was like,
up to now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Where the fuck did that come from?
It's like, it's you what? It's you that what? Like, I don't know what that means.
Bro,
I don't. Do you know what that means? No, I don't know what that means.
Do I strike you as a man that knows what that means? Do you know how many times I watched that bit? I rewound it about 4 times, bruv, to see, oh, maybe I need to go a little bit further back because it links to... But that makes no sense.
It doesn't. But I do get the mum bit, though. I do get the mum. Anyway, like, this was all right, though. Like, when it's actually quite smartly done, but at the same time, the reason why I wanted to research the director I was like, is this like what a crackhead is and feels?
Bro, but this is what I'm saying. If it would have ended at that part, I feel like this movie would have been sick, because then it would have been like, oh, so you're basically telling me when crackheads are cracking,
what?
That's what they're
basically what they
I'm
feel,
like, run.
what they think they're doing.
This is what I'm saying. I'm like, okay,
but you know why?
And then he started moving mad. I'm like, what? It's you.
Know why? You know why I didn't want to use that reference though. Again, when I was doing a little bit of a research, they compared it to DMT.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought that was something like that.
But I didn't like the representation, because I was like,
that's not what DMT.
What I know about DMT don't leave you like this. You hear me? So that's why I'm like, well, this is just like being a crackhead, no? You hear me? This must be what crackheads feel.
And that would make total sense.
It made total sense when you summed it up like that. But
then they added but then the last 15 minutes was just like, you see, there was
but because he wasn't a crackhead. It was a actual thing. Like, it messed up everything else.
There was a part where he was on the bed with the girl and he had the chain. He had the chain and it broke.
Yeah.
It should have ended there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It should have ended right there. And this film would have been wicked. I would have been like, wow, that was a wicked twist. Wicked. And then,
so what stopped it from the little 10, 15 minutes after that?
It made that, but bruv,
that was irrelevant. That was just like a throw one.
That was 10. Exactly.
It doesn't change what the film was about.
It does. Of course it does.
No, it doesn't.
Of course it does.
How does it change what it's still? The film is still the film. Like, the core of it is still what you thought it was.
It's
that
not.
Still was.
The core of it is all of it culminated at the end with foolishness.
Do you feel like they've done a good job? They didn't do a good job in the beginning, or did they? Like, you know what? You are the best person to ask, because you watched it twice. So surely you had a rough idea. So when you went back and watched it again, did you pick up in the beginning that's what they were trying to get to?
Do you know what happened? Yeah, I watched the ending. I had seen the ending. I realized the ending. Yeah. So I'm watching the whole thing, waiting for something to click so I could be like, oh,
that's where it makes.
That's where I never, ever came. It never came.
Even with the girl.
Fuck the girl. It's all dumb. Like, this is stupid. This movie reminds me of something. Do you know, like, just one of them wild out there things where a man would be like, how could you not understand this movie? What you don't know about the Sagittarius, Libra, and this, that, blah, 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 blah. What you've never read the Zodiac and this, that, and with this, that, and it goes into you and comes out. It's just like, bruv, you're talking shit. Like, you're just talking rubbish.
But is this one of these films that you feel like maybe you need to go through one of those mad high experiences?
Nah, this is just one of those movies that you just need to not watch. Like, just no point.
Nah, I wouldn't say that, man.
It's just no point. It's just a fucking mind bending.
Have you seen The 9 Perfect Strangers?
No, but I won't now. After you've liked it.
No, I just don't get. Sometimes I don't like the way they portray like psychedelic and like being high and like that whole feeling. I don't like the way they portray it. I don't know if they're trying to encourage people to do it, or deter people from doing it?
I just don't get, like, because I just assume that these people who make these movies have a massive writing room and they have loads of people in the room talking about the ideas and what she would do, and who sat there and said, you know what, the last 15 minutes of this film is a good idea.
Bro, you're writing off the whole film for the last 15 minutes.
Because that was the ending. That was the ending. How could that was the ending.
You can't do that, man, because you could say, oh, this was good, but the ending was rubbish.
Which it was. Like, and it ruined the whole movie.
You didn't say
that. No,
you're changing. How are you changing the narrative within the narrative?
Bro, it ruined the whole movie. It made the movie make no sense.
It wasn't good then.
The movie was good up until the ending, which made the movie make no sense. I'm going to say a not from me. This film,
bro,
I've watched some weird films, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I've watched some films with twists at the end, but whenever there's twists at the end, it always needs to make me say, oh, or it needs to make me be like, oh, that's why that happened and that's why that happened. This just didn't have that for me. This had the ending that for me was just like, what? Like, it made me want to watch it again to see, like, was there something I missed? What? Exactly. I had to, because I was like, there's no way that the ending could happen like this, and I'm here completely baffled, because I'm not a guy who gets completely baffled by movies. I feel like I'm quite all right at catching things.
Completely baffled.
I was complete, bro.
Like, you say completely baffled, like you didn't understand the whole film. Bro, you said you understood it to a point, and the ending threw you off. Yeah, that doesn't mean you were completely baffled.
I was, because I understood it. I told you, I understood it when, up until the point where they was on the bed with the necklace. That was cool. Up until then, I got it. I thought, okay, I understand what happened. But then, because the difference was, right at that point, it made me feel that was real life. Do you understand what I'm saying? That what was happening right then.
So how when you thought that was real life,
yeah,
at that time, what did you think of the other existences? Because you knew about the other. But what did you think that was?
That was him tripping.
So why didn't you think that at the end still? Remember what I said? It's either what you take from. Why don't you?
Because now you know that he couldn't have been tripping, because this is real life now. Because it
kind of says that in the thing. That's what I was trying to say. It kind of says it's like reality, but not reality.
Yeah, but then it doesn't make sense.
You know what this is? You know what this is like for me? Like when we was talking about what's that stupid series, Behind Her Eyes. Yeah. And man,
that was dope.
I'm just, you know what? And it's like, what is that? It's like, am I asleep? But I saw him move. It's like, nobody told that whole story. Right? No, I didn't. That. Remember, I hated that, bro. I hated that stupid series, bro.
You understood it, though. You understood it, though.
Bro, but you weren't
sitting here baffled like me.
I'm not like you, though, but because I accept it for what it is. Like, I don't understand that how, like, you seem to think that's real.
What?
Behind Her Eyes, because you've experienced it. You seem to think that's real shit, right?
But like, let's not do that. Like, I say that there's certain things like sleep apnea and stuff like that.
You know what I think, and what something I forgot to mention. And as you're saying that, you know what I think where its biggest problem was? It was very confusing scenes in how they were, because it's called Flashback for a reason. So they were flashing back a lot of the time and then going back, then what you realize it was like different existences and blah, blah, blah. But I think the way they were traveling between scenes and the difference between what was happening now and what wasn't happening now was super confusing. Because there was times where there'll be all three of them.
Yeah.
And then they'll walk into somewhere and it's just one. Mm-hmm. And it was like, that whole trend, there was times I had to rewind it. I was like, I swear I just saw all, and it's like, if you're not really clocking on, and even if you are clocking on, I just don't think the change between the scenes, the
transitions
were very, I don't think they were done very well. And I think that was confusing, because I think there's times that you're talking about where it would indicate that this was the now and that wasn't the now.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, like I keep saying, on that
because
point at the bed,
until it started doing that vibrating shit, bro, like it was very dodgy to know where you was.
On that point when it was on the bed, I had everything sussed. Like in what I thought was sussed.
Exactly. So you think
in what I thought was sussed.
So
but the last part of the movie changed what I thought I had sussed and made me now baffled and not understand the movie, which is why I didn't like it. Don't get me wrong, if they had cut that last 15 minutes, there was another movie we watched as well the other day that I said the same thing. Voyeurs.
I'm gonna go with watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna go watch it. I thought this film was all right. I personally gonna watch it again after this review.
I
want to check it out. I'm at least gonna watch the ending, and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna message man and say, "Listen, you idiot! Boom, 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 boom." You hear me?
Do you know what? Yeah, I googled the ending as well. I googled it to try and make sense,
and you still couldn't,
and still don't make sense. Still doesn't. Even I feel like the person that wrote the review ending still don't know. It's just like I said, he's one of them guys like the just making stuff up.
Well, I made it a point to say he's put out something called Conspiracy.
I think you're right in the sense of when you say it's what you take from it. Like you would. I think it's a bit like you see Interstellar, obviously.
Yeah.
A bit like Interstellar's ending.
Yeah.
But Interstellar's ending was much better and explained a little bit more. But again, you can take what you take from it, the ending, which could mean different things. But the problem with this movie is that I feel like that had already happened. They had already hit a point where everything made sense.
And you feel like they've done too much.
And then they added an extra part which completely blew that thesis out the water.
Yeah, I'm gonna say watch it. You're saying no.
No, it's a not from me because it's just too confusing for me. And I like confusing films as well. I like movies where you have to think and stuff.
It's not the greatest. But
the movie,
for the simple fact that it's one of them ones where you kind of like, I like things in a way where you're trying to figure out. It wasn't that bad.
Me too. I like that stuff, but this was just too confusing to the point where it didn't make sense. That's what I don't like.
You know, I'm telling people to watch it to see if they can make sense of it.
Yeah, that would be good. Why don't you let us know if you understood the ending, or give us your take of the ending so that maybe we can strike your rendition off as well.